Hey you guys, so welcome back to Motivational Mondays. So as you saw with the last notary video, I had my first signing. It got canceled, but I still got paid for half of it and didn't have to go anywhere. So then like that same week I got a signing. It was only like maybe less than 15 minutes from my house, which was great for my very first one. And so I'm gonna tell you guys all the tea and how it went. Okay, so I got the notification to my phone, so I went in, I hurried up, I just looked at the date and time, saw it worked, so I accepted it. It was at like 12 o'clock, I believe. And so I went ahead and I accepted it really quickly. They let me know like 10 minutes later that I got assigned to it, so I got it. So I was like, okay, this was with the same company that had canceled the first one. And as you guys can see, plug, I got this off Etsy. I have some shirts that I'm going to be showing on the channel, and then this I probably will be just putting this, and it says like signing agent. I don't know if you can see that, but wearable marketing. So as I do my motivational stuff about notary stuff, I'll probably wear something on the channel. So anyway, I had all my business clothes, I had all my supplies. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm hoping that they don't cancel this one. So I was like, okay, cool. So then that was like 2 days prior. So then they let me know I got it and that I got assigned to it, and they sent me like my order sheet. So I went ahead and called the borrower, and I was like, hey, this is Jessica Pruitt. I'm with Mutual of Omaha, and I'm gonna be your signer for so-and-so at noon. Just make sure that you and your wife will be there. And so they were like, yeah, and I verified the address, and they were like, okay. And I said, well, this is my phone number. You know, if you have any questions, give me a call. So that was good. The next day, I told them once I got their documents and reviewed it, that I would give them a call to go over a few things with them. So they were like, okay, cool. Hadn't heard from them. So the next day, got the email that the documents were ready. So I went in, and they had like 6 attachments. So it was the shipping label, the closing documents, like a statement from the borrower about why they were doing this reverse mortgage. They just had like 6 attachments. So I went ahead and printed 2 of everything, except I did not print 2 of the shipping labels, and I did not print 2 if like it's like an order sheet that I didn't have to give the borrower. So I kept that for myself. Everything else got 2 copies. So it was quite a bit of pages. I don't even remember the number. It was over like 300 pages. And so when I separated the copies, so my copies went in this manila legal size folder that I showed you guys in my supplies video, which I'm going to link down below. And so this came from Amazon. It was like a pack of, I don't even know how many, but this came in handy. This was my copy, and I have them separated for a reason. That way I'm not at the closing like flustered and like, okay, which is mine, which is theirs, blah blah blah. And so I had this. Now this signing, I had to use 2 of these. So for their copy, I put their last name and the date on it, and this was mine, because, so I told you guys in that video, I'm gonna link the correct ones below. The 10 by 13s did not fit legal size paper. When I went to put their documents in my class envelope, it did not fit. It was too, this was too short. So the documents were sticking out the top, and of course I didn't want to, you know, close this and bend the documents. So I could not, so I had to send those back to Amazon and then reorder the 10 by 15s, and these work. So going forward, this copy will be mine, this copy will be theirs, and theirs will be sealed. And also I planned on, you know, once I seal it, put my business card on the outside, but I didn't, because I didn't have this. So what I had to do was I just stapled my business card on the outside so they have it. And so it's just a way for me. I saw this off of a notary's YouTube, and I think it was really great and really key about this is just marketing yourself, because if the signers like you, they're gonna call you again because they know that you're a notary and you can get the job done. And so they want to make sure that, okay, you want to make sure that they are able to contact you again and not have to like, okay, what was that notary's name? Let me call my lender and get her name. You have my information readily available. So if you have anything else and you want me to do your signings, you have my business card. So that's why I'll leave those with the clients, and each client, every time I get a signing, will get a business card and the documents in that. I just think that this also looks a little bit more like professional when closed up, so you don't have to worry about it. Because when I had my documents in my folder, what I had to do, because there were so many, is I had to clamp it, and I just didn't like the look for theirs. So I just think it looks nicer. So I got the right ones now, which I'll link them down below. And so once I got all the documents prepared, I put their copy. You do nothing with their copy. You don't mark it, nothing. You just put their copy in whatever you're going to use, and then that's it. Theirs is set aside. Mine, though, because this was my first in-person signing, I went ahead and I sat like down at my I couldn't do it at my desk because Nala was asleep. It was at night. I didn't want to wake her up with like me moving and the printer and stuff, so I took all of them downstairs while Olivia was getting her ready. I printed off everything, and then I went through them downstairs at our dining room table. And so I took, as I said in the last video, my little flags, and I went through all of the pages, and I marked which pages had to be notarized and signed by the borrower. And I also got you know, familiar with the documents. I'm like, okay, do they owe cash to close? They didn't, because this is a reverse mortgage, so they were actually getting money back from the lender. So I was like, okay, great, I don't have to worry about checks, money orders. I just have to get the stuff from the check from them and their wire information, but I don't have to worry about like a certain dollar amount. So I was like, okay, great, they're getting money back, cool. So I went ahead and called them. I let them know to have both of their driver's licenses when I got there, and have 2 checks that contained their wire information so they could receive their money back from their lender. So they were like, okay, cool. And then I said, do you guys have any pets? They said no. And I said, okay, awesome. That was a relief for me, because as you guys know, I'm terrified of cats. And one of the ladies I took a class from was like, in the middle of a signing one time, a cat jumped on the table. And I was like, girl, I will lose my mind if that happened. And so normally she said, the instructor said, if they have pets, just ask them to keep them up and contained until you leave. So it was a great relief that they didn't have pets. So that just kind of put me a little bit at ease. And so I went through all the documents. I flagged each page, and you have to just be careful not to like rip these off, because then you'll rip your paper. And so I flagged each page, and that was it. I put my copy in my folder, and I made sure I put it in my notary bag, and then I put my notary bag in my car. So the next morning when I got up, just to double check myself, I went back through the documents just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because if you miss something or you make a mistake or miss a signature, that delays the process. And so you then have to go back to the borrowers, which then you normally don't get paid for. So that's extra gas and mileage that you don't get paid for. And then normally they can deduct from your fee. And so I just wanted to double check myself. And so I'm glad I did, because like on one of the 2021s, I forgot the 21 at the end. So that was just good. They can make that revision, but I don't want anything messing up, because sometimes too with signing companies, I've heard if you make some mistakes, they'll just blacklist you from their list, so that way you don't get the chance to work for them anymore. So I just also wanted to become a preferred signer, so I wanted to do everything correctly, that way there was no issues. So once I did that, I put it back in my notary bag, made myself some coffee, I got ready, and then that was that. So like I said, I let them know I'd be 5 minutes early, so I left about 20 minutes early. I got there at 9:55, actually like a little bit before that. Right at like 9:58, I went ahead, went to their front door. I wore my mask. They did not have theirs on. I went to their home. That's normally where you go as a mobile signing agent. So I went in, I said, hi, my name is Jessica Pruitt. I'm here on behalf of Mutual Omaha. Where would you like to conduct your signing? They said right over here to our dining room. I always just peep the room too. You just want to make sure that you are going to people's homes. You don't know if they're like a crazy person or like they're going to try and hurt you. So I just always like to know like my proximity to the front door, what's kind of going on. Just scope out the room and make sure, and just kind of check their vibe as well. We're an older couple, a husband and wife, so We went right there to the dining room table, and I could see the door clearly. They didn't close the door, so I just felt really safe. Before I went, let me also add, I prayed over my safety, that the signing would go well, I wouldn't be harmed, and that everything was going to be fine. So I went in with an armor of protection. So we went in, and I asked them about their style. Are they the type that want to read every single thing, or do they just want to sign and go? They said that they've already seen the document, so they already know how much they should be getting back. They just want me to point out their number that they're getting back from the bank, and that's it. I was like, perfect. So we went through each document, and I had my flags, so I just flipped to every single document that had to be signed. When I got to their amount they were getting back, they said, oh, actually this is a little bit more because we don't have to pay taxes. It's actually a little bit more than what we're getting back. Cool. All right, cool. We kept going. We signed all the documents. Once I double checked, and as I'm getting the documents back, I'm double checking and skimming, looking over the page to make sure I didn't miss anything. So they never asked any questions about anything else, and it's not your job to explain the documents to them. You just briefly say, like, this is your disclosure, or so and so, but you do not tell them, like, if they ask why is my rate this or why is this, you say, hold on, let me call the lender, or you can call your agent, but you know, you don't explain that. So we explained, we signed all the documents. I notarized all the documents in front of them. Then everything was good to go. I left their copy with them. At the very top of the signing, let me say this, I asked them for both of their driver's licenses, because before you sign anything, you have to verify that they are who they say. So I asked for their driver's license. I also took a picture on my phone because the lender wanted a copy of the driver's licenses back with the documents. So I took a picture of their IDs, front and back, and then I also looked at it and made sure they say they were who they were. And then I also handed them their copy of documents. It is, for me, I think it put them also at ease of like, okay, I have my documents, so if I need to review anything after the fact, I have my copy. So it also helped them not be readers, which is like read every single thing at the moment, because they have their copy. And so once everything was signed, I gave them pens, which are, like I had said in the last video, these simple blue Bic pens. And I did not ask them to sanitize or put on their mask. Everybody feels comfortable. I felt comfortable with my mask on. And then when I got their pens back, I made sure to ask, are you allergic to Clorox or bleach products? They said no. I said, okay, perfect. I'm just going to sanitize your pens for safety. And I think that also adds a layer of comfortability of like, okay, she does what she says she's going to. So we've seen her do it, so we know she's clean. So I feel like it helps, like a selling point for them to call me back and hire me for something or notarize something for them. So I sanitize each of their pens. I Germ-X my hands. I keep, as I said, Germ-X in my bag. And then I packed the documents up for myself and I left. I called the lender. I let them know that the signing went great. They didn't have any questions, and I'll be getting the package back to the mail. So I had to go to FedEx. So this is what, let me get it out for you guys. This is what they give there. It's called a large pack from FedEx. And I'm going to be talking in my next video about this, which is like things that you can do when you have a business account or a business. You can get these items for free. So they gave this to me for free. And I already had my shipping label and one of these. Now this is UPS. I ordered some from FedEx, but when you put the label in, you can't see it. But my label went in here. I had already put my label in here. So I got these for at the house. So now when I leave my signing, I can just put this in here. I'll slap my label on front. So when I go into FedEx, all I have to do is they scan it and they give me a receipt. That is for, you want to keep that receipt because it has a tracking number on it. And so once the FedEx lady, she gave me one because I didn't have these at first. So I had already had my label in here. Like I said, I went in, I had my documents in here. I took my binder clip off though, because these are expensive and I'm saving my clips. And so once I had my receipt, she just was like, you're sending these off? Okay, cool. She put the documents in here. And then she scanned my label, she gave me a receipt, and she highlighted the tracking number for me, and that was it. I didn't have to pay anything. So I went into the portal for my signing agency, and I uploaded the borrower's driver's licenses, because that's what they wanted, and then I also put in the notes the tracking number, and everything was good. So I also emailed my direct contact from the signing agency and said, hey, the package was dropped off at FedEx, here's the tracking number. Now that was 2 days before Thanksgiving, I believe, so the documents didn't get there next day. And so what I did was I just followed up that she said the next day, and I said, hey, did you get the document? She said not yet because of the holiday. I'll let you know when they've been received. So when she received them, she said that the acknowledgments hadn't been filled out, and I had asked her when I was going through my documents the previous night before the signing. I called her and I said, hey, you know, I'm a new signing agent, this is my first signing, do these need to be filled out? And she said no, you know, if it's blank, you know, there's nothing there. So I didn't fill it out. So I called one of the ladies from my notary Facebook group, and I said, hey, I've never filled this out, can I send this to you, because I don't understand the wording, it doesn't really make sense. So she called me back immediately and was like, girl, do not fill this out, use the ones that I sent you, the Alabama acknowledgments, because we have to use our wording. That wording, like you said, does not make sense. So I said, perfect, I know how to fill that one out. So I filled out 2 of them because they wanted 2 of them for their copies. So it was no issue. So what I did, I had already had to take knowledge to school. So I printed out 2 of them, I filled them out. They wanted me to scan it in so they can go ahead and do what they needed to do. So I scanned it to them. They were able to get the stuff to the borrower with no issue. And then I went to FedEx. I put them just to look professional. I put the 2 copies in here. I put that in here. And then I had my label. They sent me a free label. Boom, and it was a quick drop off. And I asked, like, hey, I'm so sorry. And they were like, no, it was just miscommunication. We didn't understand what you were asking, and we told you didn't have to fill it out, so it's not going to affect your fee or anything like that. You are now a preferred vendor. And I was like, did everything look good? And they were like, everything looked great, you did awesome, we look forward to working with you more in the future. So you guys, my first signing was a success. I was so nervous and scared. Now that was a reverse mortgage, and I've heard that I got paid $110 for that one, and it only took me like 45 minutes from the time I got in there to the time I got back in my car. I think prep time, 1, that was a big success for me. I think 2, just double checking myself to make sure I didn't miss anything, and also 3, asking questions. So when I had questions, I didn't have many, but when I did, I had like 3 questions, I think, and I called the lender and I asked them all at once, and they, I think, appreciated that, so I didn't make a mistake. And 2, I think it just helped cut down on like keep bothering them. So I just say I'm really excited to keep going. I've got other signings coming up. I have got some requests as well that I couldn't take because they were like super late at night and Nala was asleep and I didn't have anybody to watch her. And then also, like, I don't know what's going on. If anybody is a signing agency, SnapDocs. So I accepted like less than 10 seconds. I'll accept it. But then when I go back in, it says like it's been assigned to another agent. And so I guess they like pick and choose who they want. So if you have any tips on how like I can get around that, let me know. But I have got business from other companies. But I'm so excited, like that amount of money. I hate that. Only thing I dislike, I don't say hate, take that back. I dislike that like you don't get paid for like 2 to 3 weeks or to a month. But they're starting to roll in. I'm really comfortable now. So for any new signing agent out there, just find somebody that like you're comfortable asking questions to. And if you don't understand, ask the lender. Because they would rather you ask than you make a mistake. And then when you make a mistake, that holds up your borrower. Because during the signing, there was like very minimal talk. Afterwards, when I'm cleaning up, you know, we were able to have conversation, and she's like, yeah, it's time, like I need my money, bills money, the holidays are coming up, blah 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 blah. And they were getting quite a bit of money. So you know, you don't want to hold them up, because now let's say they're expecting money on the 30th, but because of your mistake and you not asking questions or being clear, now all of a sudden they don't get their money until the 5th or the 6th. That holds them up because they have stuff to do, and then they're probably not going to hire you again. Or if your name comes up, they're going to say, no, we don't want her to come back to our home and do our signing. So ask questions, be clear, and just, you know, prep. That's all I can say. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will be doing a next video about the business side of starting my loan signing company, and like getting everything processed on the legal side of things to make this a business. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.